It's been over a month since Star vs. the Force of Evil has ended. It is absolutely crazy to see how much this show has grown from its humble beginnings in season 1. A lot of things happened during this show's run, such as magical hijinks and family revelations, and a lot of ships have been sailed and sunk. In this video, I'm going to be giving my extended thoughts on the season 4 finale, season 4 as a whole, as well as my final thoughts on the series as a whole. So without further ado, let's get started. First, I'm going to talk about my extended thoughts on the season 4 finale / the series finale of the whole show. And overall, I don't think my opinion has changed that much since over a month ago when the finale dropped. I still like the finale. I've watched it a couple more times since the finale has dropped. And I still like what they've done, even though, in my honest opinion, it should have been longer or things could have been done better. But I still liked what they did. I still like what the Star vs. Crew did with the finale, and it just leaves me kind of wanting more, or wanting to know what happened to the characters in this new world that they created by the worlds being cleaved, like Echo Creek and Muni being cleaved. But I don't know, maybe we will, maybe we won't find out. I don't know, I really want there to be some sort of epilogue or something. Maybe a few years later, like a time skip or whatever. But who knows, you might get a TV movie or something in the future, comic. I don't know, because there's been a petition going around say they want a season 5 or TV movie, and it's reached over 100k I think recently, and it's insane to see how many people want a continuation, some sort of a continuation, even if it's a few years later from the original show. I mean, who knows if Disney will do that. Hopefully they will. They've done continuations before, like Girl Meets World and Raven's Home, but that's sitcoms and live action shows and that lot. So maybe they will for the animated programming one day. I still really would like to see a Kim Possible continuation in that animated form. But no, we got a live action movie instead, and some shorts as well. So yeah, there might be a Kim Possible 2 coming along. I don't know. But yeah, the finale was good. So much things happened in the finale. We got to see the Queens of Muni again, as all the queens got rid of the magic in the magic realm, and they got to say their goodbyes, and that was beautiful. I like that scene a lot. And we got to see all the queens' butterfly forms, all the recent queens anyway, Meteorica, Eclipsa, Moon, and Star. We got to see all their butterfly forms together, which is really great as well. We also got to see Star and Marco. Oh gosh, Star and Marco. They were a highlight. I think in the finale they were a highlight for me, because it shows how much the relationship has grown and also how much they really cared about each other. And they created the world. They were the final piece to create a cleaved world for them to spend with each other as well as their friends and everything. And it's crazy. They did that. I still can't believe they did that. With the help with the Queens of Media, of course, by getting rid of the magic. But we didn't know what was going to happen to them, because they stayed in the realm when it was all going crazy. And their love and magic, just everything, they did it. They did that. And it's insane how much they grew from season 1 to like the end of season 4. It's insane. It's insane, but they did it. They did that. That means with their new created world, Meteorica and Mariposa can grow up together, which is great. All their friends can mingle, everybody can meet each other, but the world is even crazier, weirder and wilder than before, because, oh my goodness, that cleaved world looks beautiful. It looks like a cluster flip, but it looks beautiful. It's a beautiful cluster flip. But it's still really would be interesting to see a continuation in the future of this world, because it's like they left us on the cliffhanger, but they left it open. It's like an open sort of cliffhanger where, you know, you could use your imagination to see what happened in this new world and stuff, but maybe they'll come back to this show one day and actually continue, which I hope they do. One day as like a TV movie or comic, or just do an epilogue. I don't know, do something, because I really want to see more of this world one day. I really do. Also, Mina's still around, like, she hasn't gone, she's still here, so Who knows, maybe it could focus on Mina again, the continuation. Who knows, or maybe they could introduce a new villain that will work with Mina, because there'll still be people that doesn't like the new world, that wants to rebel against this new world. So, you know, Mina could come up with another army and stuff. It depends if they actually do a continuation or not. Now I'd like to move on to talk about my general feelings of season 4 as a whole. And my feelings of the season is like a roller coaster, because there were some things that were really, really great about the season, and some things that I thought was okay, and a couple of things that I really didn't like about the season at all. And I'm going to be talking about these likes and dislikes as I go through some of the highlights of this season. First off, I want to talk about Eclipsa's storyline this season. Now, Eclipsa was the new reign of the Muni throne from the last season's events, where Meteor was defeated, turned back into a baby, and Star handed the family wand back to Eclipsa because she was the rightful heir. And now, then, she was the new leader of Muni, and not everybody was happy about it. The humans were upset. The monsters were grateful that she became the queen, since, you know, Eclipsa started allowing humans and monsters to integrate. But the humans were obviously mad about that, because they see monsters as monsters, and the monsters just want to be given a chance, but humans are like, nah, because of all the things they've done, or, you know, all the things both sides done, to be honest. Star was there all the way to try and help Eclipsa gain her popularity, but it didn't really work out as they thought it would. They tried many things, such as the Ponyhead show, and just other things to try and make Eclipsa's popularity grow, but unfortunately the humans were still reluctant to trust this new queen. That is until Coronation. Coronation was a turning point, because Globgor arrived. Yes, right, Globgor was unfrozen this season, and can I just say, Eclipsa and Globgor's relationship is so adorable. I actually really like their relationship that they built on from their history and that law, and I just feel like their relationship just breaks the boundaries of what, you know, a relationship should be in the humans' eyes, and I just find the relationship really cute. I really do, and I hope they're really happy now, since they're back together now from like the end of season 4, so now they can live happily together after years of separation. And it's just great to see their journey throughout these episodes that we get to see them in. It's really, really good, and I'm glad that Globgor gets to see Meteoric again, because he never got to see his daughter at all, which is really sad. I just find it really sad, because King Shashika is an absolute, a word I can't say on here. Jeez, man. Oh, jeez. We also got to meet Globgor this season, as we realised how much he's changed from his mutant-eating ways. We all thought he was going to be the main villain of season 4, but actually, he wasn't. He wasn't the main villain at all. He just wanted to spend time with his daughter and his wife, and it's just beautiful to see how much he really cares about them, and he doesn't want to hurt anybody at all. He doesn't want them hurting him either. He has changed fully from his mutant-eating days, but I think the reason why he kind of done this, because he was taken away from his daughter and his wife, and unfortunately that led into him being frozen and Eclipsa being frozen as well. And yeah, it's really sad what happened, and Meteor had to grow up without a mum or a father, which is really, really, really sad. But I'm glad they're back together again, as I already said. Speaking of Meteora, we got a few tidbits from Meteora this season, such as her dipping down for the first time, and also meeting Meteora, who is Marco's sister, who I'll talk about in a moment. Mariposa was a new addition to the DS family, and I think she's pretty adorable. We didn't really get much of her this season, except for the episode where her and Meteora went to the other dimension and became older. We actually got to hear what her voice will sound like when she is the same age as Marco and Star are right now, just around the same age. And yeah, I think it was pretty interesting seeing them grown up, especially as they grew up like sisters, and it was just really sweet to see they had a bond with each other throughout those years they were in the other dimension. even though it's probably 5 minutes between the original dimension and the new dimension that they grew up in. But other than that, hopefully that adventure will lead them into more adventures in the new world that they are currently living in. Moon and River, over the course of the first half of the season, built their own community after the events of Eclispa becoming queen. After coming back from the Pyfolk Island, Moon didn't really trust Eclispa to begin with. This went on throughout the season, even though we thought that Moon did trust Eclispa after coronation, or trusted her with the heir to the throne, because it was none of her business after all, because she wasn't the queen anymore. However, she thought she could do something about it, and that's what led to her betrayal, her talking to Mina. She was the one that unfrozen Globgor, so Eclispa had to thank her for that in episode 20, I think. Yeah, it was episode 20, it was the end of the multiverse episode, or the Tavern at the End of Multiverse episode, where Eclispa thanked Moon for setting free Globgor. But even with Moon's plan to banish Eclispa for the sake of the kingdom, or that's what she thought, Mina still betrayed her. Like, she didn't want to do that. She wanted to kill them. She wanted to kill them because she's a crazy, crazy, crazy girl. And Moon's plan did backfire, even though she wanted to do best for her kingdom, or what she thought was best for the kingdom. She still failed in that case. And yeah, I mean, and Star was feeling the most hurt, as well as Eclispa. But Star was feeling the most hurt because it was her mum doing that, and what she's doing was wrong in a sense. But you know, Mina was gonna do something about it anyway, and yeah, it was some crazy, crazy family drama, that is. After all of that, however, Moon still came to help with the Queen's immunity, and Star and Eclispa and Meterioa get rid of the magic. And yeah, it made me respect her a little bit more after her betrayal, even though I don't condone of her trying to banish Eclispa for the sake of the kingdom, because they could have, you know, talked around it or whatever. But, you know, she Moon thought what she done would be right for the kingdom, but she wasn't the queen anymore. She can't really, like, put that in position, but she made a deal with Mina anyway, and yeah, that was a palaver in itself. But I'm glad that Moon and Star and the rest of the kingdom can have a fresh start in the world, in the brand new world. And yeah, hopefully things will be a little bit better now. I don't really have much to talk about River this season, but he did have some good moments with Globgor. That was one of my highlights for him this season. He actually related to Globgor a lot more than I thought he would, but then they did relate to each other because they had a daughter that they really cared about. Like, both sides, so I think that's probably why they relate to each other as much as they should. But yeah, River was good this season as well. Just don't really have much to talk about with him this season at all. Now I want to talk about Tom. Oh my goodness, Tom. We got a lot of Tom this season. We really did. And I'm glad, because he's one of my favourite side characters of the show. Or probably he's one of the main characters now, because we got a lot more of Tom than we did in the previous seasons. And yeah, we got to see more of Tom. A lot of Tom with Star. Yeah, okay. So, the last season, I had a problem with Tom and Star's development. I didn't like how they got together very quickly after the whole debacle with Star and Marco at the end of season 2. And then Star wanted to move on that quickly, went for Tom as a rebound, as I thought it was. And even though they really did care about each other, before that and after the demonicism that Tom had and that lot, I still think that Star kind of used them as a rebound for the sake of getting rid of her feelings for Marco. However, even though this couple did have their nice moments this season, it just, I don't know, I was waiting for the moment where they would break up. Which is really sad, because I did wanted them to work in some way, shape or form. And I'm glad they're still friends at the end of it, but I knew that something was going to happen anyway, regardless of them wanting to stay together or them still loving each other. Something was going to happen anyway because of their disagreements at the beginning of the season, and when Tom wanted to go on vacation by himself to just figure out what's going on because he didn't know how Star was feeling and that lot, and they just wanted to figure things out. And then they break up at the end of the season, or near the end of the season, and yeah, the progression of that was noticeable. They did have their cute moments between the season, especially in the middle, but yeah, this pairing, I still have sort of the same feelings that I did for season 3. They shouldn't have got together that quickly, and even though they lost as long as they did, and they still had their nice moments as a pairing, I still do ship them a little bit. I don't know, I just feel like they didn't work out, and it was for the better that they broke up. But other than that, I think Tom has some significant character development during the season. We got to see him find himself without relating himself to Star. Like, we got the episode with him and Janna, and I think him and Janna's relationship, it was good. I really enjoyed the relationship of the moments that we had seen of them, especially in the episode where they were hanging out, and, Janna wanted Tom to protect the sled boot from the bird, which was Mina's bird. But we get to see them actually have fun together, and that was good. And also, Marco and Tom's friendship grew this season, which was good to see. I really did like Marco and Tom's development throughout, I think, the 2 seasons that we see them like be friends, or at least enemies to friends. And it's just great to see them bond like that. It was really good. I really liked the episode where Marco was teaching Tom how to ride his dragon cycle, and that was pretty cool just to see them hang out. It was really, really cool to see that. I just want to talk about Janna real quick because we got to see her more in this season than we did in the other seasons before that. We got to see her in our very own episode where we got to find out more about her home life, what she does on a daily basis. And yeah, we got to see more of her, especially interacting with characters that we never thought she'll interact with. Especially with Eclispa and Tom, and I really enjoyed her interactions with Tom in this season. I never thought we would get to see it after all the seasons they never interacted in, but now we actually get to see them interact. And yeah, it was pretty good to see them interacting, and who knows where their relationship would turn up now. We also got to catch up with some people from Echo Creek near the end of the season. We got to see Alfonso and Ferguson. They have their own D&D group. We got to see Starfad 13, still crazy for Star as ever. And we also got to see Jackie. Now, Jackie went to France and she got herself a girlfriend, and that's so adorable. And I'm so happy for her, and I hope she and Chloe are happy together. And yeah, Marco and Jackie also had some closure as well, especially from like the last season when they broke up. They finally got some closure, and Jackie still likes him as a person, you know, and it's just, yeah, it's insane how much some of these characters grew by the time we get to see them again. Like, it's insane. It's insane. All these characters have their own lives, and let's just hope they're happier now than they ever were. Now I want to talk about Mina. Now, Mina, in comparison to Toffee and Ludo and everybody else, I thought she was the weakest villain of the show. Not that she didn't have any effect on the show, because she did, but she just wasn't really there. I think the main villain, of this season was Magic, and how Magic was affecting the Kingdom of Muni as well as everywhere else, because Magic was the main culprit of everything that happened this season. Like, the magic was leaving, the magic was seeping away and that lot, and you know, it was Magic that brought people apart and together, cleaved and uncleaved. It's just, yeah, Magic was the main conflict of this season, and also with Eclipsa being in Rain, and you know, there was a few different conflicts this season, but there wasn't really any villain this season. You could count Mina as a villain, but I think she was the weakest villain out of all the seasons, and I mean, there was a lot of things going on this season, so, but yeah, Mina turned into a villain. I mean, I knew she was crazy, but oh boy, her craziness just went up and beyond this season, with how backwards she was and wanted things to be the way they were, like monsters being secluded and humans getting all the high rain and that lot. It's just, yeah, it was backwards. It was very backwards, and yeah, she's still here. So, you know, if they do a continuation, a TV movie, or a comic or something, I mean, they could develop more of her. I don't know. I mean, it was crazy to see her in a villainous role, and Mina's a bit of a mixed bag for me this season. We also got to see a little bit of Ludo this season. We haven't really got much with him, so I can't really talk about him a little bit, but he is now with Dennis, living in their new house, their new castle, and I'm glad they're really happy now. I'm glad that Ludo's in a better place after what he was in the previous seasons with his abusive parents and all the stuff happening with Toffee and that lot. But I'm glad that Ludo is happy in his new environment with Dennis. And last but not least, I would like to talk about Star and Marco, because this season, after 4 seasons of development of their friendship, them getting to know each other, them really caring about each other and doing all sorts of things together, they got together. They got together officially in episode 19, where I wasn't expecting it at all. I don't think many people were. Some people were expecting something, but I was expecting them to get together in the finale. But no, they got together in episode 19, and I was like, what the flying flip? I was flipping out. I just, wow. But anyway, before then, a few things happened with their relationship, such as Curse of the Blood Moon, which I'm still very conflicted of the episode, even though it's been months now. And yeah, the Blood Moon, I think, was just an extension of their feelings. It was a curse, sure, and of course you don't want them to artificially fall in love at all. But they fell in love because of their own feelings, but the Blood Moon was like an extension. It was because it appeared in significant points of their relationship, such as when Marco kissed Jackie, for example, and the Booth Buddies episode where it appeared at the end of the episode where Star was taking the photos. It appeared so much, but it's like, I don't know, maybe it was just to showcase the key moments of their relationship of when they started feeling things for each other or whatever. But, well, except for Marco with Jackie, because Marco still loved Jackie then. But it's maybe, I don't know, maybe at that point it was to show that Star was in trouble, because it made Marco check his phone, so obviously it was an important part. But yeah, the Blood Moon's curse is now gone from their lives, but it wasn't the Blood Moon that caused their feelings in the first place, it was them. And that's what they had to realise. There was the Beach Day episode, because apparently the Beach Day photo that Star had in season 2 was from the future, and Star had to deal with that. And yeah, that episode was okay, even though we all thought the Beach Day photo was going to lead into something more. But, you know, other things led into something more, like Star and Tom breaking up, leading to Tom accepting that, you know, he wasn't right for her, and to move on. And then Tom had that conversation with Marco saying, you could date her now, like, I don't mind, you know, you have my blessing. And Marco was like, oh my god. I was like, okay, Tom, okay. There was also a couple moments near the last couple of episodes that I really liked, such as Marco and Star in the Magic Realm, and they had their whole unicorn family. But before that, Marco was talking to Star in the car and saying how much he wants to just put her in her pocket and just keep her there because he loves her. And Star remembered that for when they talked in the barn in the next episode. I'll talk about that in a minute. But there was some cute moments before their talk in the barn, and their talk in the barn really got to me. Seriously, I wanted them to talk for so long, and now they did, and it was beautiful in my opinion. I know some people thought the scene could have been done better, and I understand that, but I just wanted them to talk. I wanted them to talk about their feelings and how they felt for each other for so long, and finally them doing that in that barn, and them kissing as well because they wanted to, because they loved each other so much. I just wanted to cry. I've been waiting for that since forever, I think. Well, actually, since the Booth Buddies episode. I wanted them to talk more since the Booth Buddies episode, but I've been waiting for that for 4 seasons long, and it's insane. It's really insane how far they come as a pairing, and it's really insane. And then the finale, oh goodness, the finale. Oh boy, they really got to me in the finale, because they were about to die in that realm. They didn't know what was going to happen to them. And then with their last ounce of magic between them, they created this nuclear world that they can both live in now. They did that as they ran to the portal, wanted to be with each other one last time, and then just, you know, the portals exploded, and Marco on the verge of crying because he wasn't going to see Star again. It was really sad, and then boom, look at that, they're in a new world, and they did that. Star and Marco did that with the help of the Queens of Meaning, of course, but Marco and Star did that. They were together for that last ounce of magic, and they helped shape their future. They helped shape the future of this new world called Earthly, or Mina. I don't know what the new world is called. I think it's Earthly, but it's insane. This new world is insane with all types of creatures living in it. I just want to see what happens next now, but maybe we'll find out in the future. I don't know. It just leaves me wanting more. It just leaves me wanting more from this crazy world we got introduced to 4 years ago. But as an ending for the finale, it was good, and Star and Marco did that. They did that. Star vs. the Force of Evil was really and truly a wild and crazy roller coaster from start to finish, and I am glad this series exists. I am really glad. It helped me and so many other people through tough times, and this show was a big impact of my life and so many other people's lives, and it was really sad to see it go. But I really hope that people can look back at the series and enjoy it for what it was, and also maybe we'll get to see these characters again in the future. I really hope we do, because it's worth going back to this show again. It is worth it. If the Star vs. crew want to get back to this show again, it is worth going back. I don't know when that's going to happen, if it will happen or not, but I really hope they do. I really hope they do in the future. And that was my extended thoughts on Star vs. Season 4, as well as the entire series as a whole. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll hope to see you guys soon for more cartoon craziness. Now, if you excuse me, Spider-Man and Stranger Things are coming out this week, and I really need to prepare myself for them, so I gotta go. I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys. Bye.